Hello and welcome back to Tuesday's vlog. I'm having a couple of issues this morning. My phone, for some reason, the app that I use to do the recording keeps shutting off midway through, so this is about the 5th time I've done this. And the other reason why the doors are down is the building across the road's getting paintwork done. The painters are there and they've got their music blasting on like a radio. And I know YouTube's funny about all this, so I've had to shut the doors to be able to record, so the audio's not picking up the music. So anyways, just so you know, if this gets a bit sketchy, I can't help it. I don't know what's going on with my phone. So yeah, my dad's away on holiday this week, so I'm running the place on my own. Just had an Audi A4 in to check for a diesel leak underneath, but it's got those awful side skirts on where I actually can't even get the car on the lift. They're not just Audi ones, they're like aftermarket ones with like no thought at all about getting it onto a two-post lift. I mean, even with a chock of wood like this, they were still touching the sills, and they're them cheap, nasty, brittle plastic type. And unfortunately for me, just to check for a diesel leak, put that on, cracky sill, you end up getting yourself into a whole load of mess for nothing, basically. So I had to unfortunately turn that job away. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but sometimes for what you can earn, it's just not worth it. Send it out the door. I've got 2 of my subscribers in today. I'm not gonna. I don't know the other. I've got an L200 coming in to check. I may do that as part of a separate video or add it into this. I don't know yet. And I've also got in this Dacia or Dacia, whatever you want to call them, Duster, which are cracking little cars, and I'm debating doing a bit of a review on this separately. This is purely in, he's just bought it, it's just in for a once-over, check over, to check everything's working, everything's correct, and, excuse me, he wants me to paint the back drums, so I'm going to remove the back wheels, give them a big sand down, and get them painted, because it does let the look of the car down a bit. As you've already seen with a few of my other older videos, I highly rate this 8-year protection satin black Hammerite, so we're going to do it with that. What else am I going to do? Yep, I've got Jeep. Let's turn this one. Got the Jeep if I get 2 minutes today to sort, and I've got a Picasso outside, which I will have a lot. But as I've mentioned, they're painting across there. They've got music blasting. I'll just have to show the Picasso another time. They've got the music blaring and it's full view on what I'm doing. I simply can't speak above that, the volume of that music. So, yeah, but anyways, the Picasso is just in for MOT. It came in on Friday because it's out of test. Checked it over, had a few jobs done. I'll go better through that when I've got it in here in the garage. Probably just keep the Picasso for tomorrow's content. And then that way I don't have to be out there. So what we're going to do is we'll go. I've already been around this, checked all the lights. I'm going to get it up on the lift. I've checked around the interior. I do a little bit more than your standard sort of checking, so to speak. So I've done like check the air cons working, check all the cruise control buttons, all electric windows, stuff like that. Just a bit more than the average I've done to it. Just if he's just bought it, just if anything doesn't look right, anything's hanging off, broken, he can take it back to the garage, get it sorted. So I'm going to open the bonnet, check the levels, check the tyre pressures, get it up on the lift, and basically just do a pre-MOT, and we'll get the back wheels off as well. Right, so we're going to do some walk around basic checks. I've got the car on the lift. One thing I want to say just about my weekend vlog, while it's just coming to my mind. I did promise you all new project, the jokey thing and everything. I forgot I had the week before's weekend vlog already recorded, so I found it pointless to waste 2 videos on one weekend. So the one I've posted this weekend was from about 2 or 3 weeks ago when I originally brought the caravan home. The one I'm referring to will be this weekend coming, just to let you know. As I'm letting you know, when I'm away on holiday, I'm going to rely on a few reviews and things like that, so naturally I'll be missing a week's worth of vlogging, but when I'm over there, if the internet is reasonable, I'll upload. I'm just keeping content to upload. Obviously, coming over the summer, there is going to be various weeks where I'm not recording. And I've decided at this point as well, just to let you know the daily vlogging, if it's too busy or what I class as not very interesting content, I might miss a day. But what I'll do the next day, if it's better stuff, make it a longer one. Let us know if that's okay. Even if it's boring and crap, do you still want us to record? I mean, literally, if it's just the most boringest things that's in, I don't really... It just takes up too much time recording it, editing it, waiting for it to upload, which, as I'm telling you, is taking ages with YouTube at the minute. I don't know how I'm going to do. If there's interesting content, I'll put it in. If not, I'll make maybe, instead of 4, 2 longer ones, or maybe try and split them all up into one and do one, but then it takes too long to upload when they get that long. So yeah, just to let you know, if I miss the odd day, it's purely just because there's nothing a great deal interesting in. So, onto the Dacia. I've got it on the lift. I've got to go around now. We'll check the lights, and we'll take it up. So we'll switch it on. I'm not going to start it because these are, being a diesel, quite loud. Put the hazards on. If I can reach. There we go. Right, I have checked the stop lights before because somebody come into the garage. So I've got they're flashing nice and orange, fog lights, side lights, 2 number plate lights. That's on. I would put it into reverse, I'll check the reverse light in a minute. Go around to the front. Indicators, yes. Indicators, little side light, you probably can't see that. Main headlight bulb, fog light. Side light, fog light, yes. We'll flash the main beams. Don't like having these on too long when the engines aren't running. So off with those, off with that. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll stick it into reverse. And just check that reverse light's on. Obviously, always more handy when I've got somebody else to help us here. Wipers are fine. Just knock it out to reverse in case I decide to start it up, and then things would not be good on the lift. Funny thing with these, it's one of the only modern cars you'll get with no horn on the steering wheel. Back to the old school on the Stoke. And how cool is that horn? Love that. I don't know, I like these Dacias, by the way, just before anybody starts going to pull them to bits. I like them, and I've actually decided, if I ever got the opportunity in a few years' time when they become cheap, I would have one, definitely a 4-wheel drive one. As you can see under here, this is your Renault K9K engine. Probably one of the best diesel engines made. Honestly, we'll all call these, but for a little 1500 diesel, these have been around since, how long? Let's think. 2001, maybe? A little bit before that. Had the problems in the early days. They still do in the Nissan Jukes and stuff. And there's the DPF at the back. They can be a right pain in the arse with them. As you can see, all Reynolds, like I said, when you got the box with the dots in, 0.5, it's got a DPF. I don't think they made any of these without. I'm more referring to the older Reynolds. But as you can see, they don't try to hide it. Renault Nissan, you know, you're getting an alright product, I think. For what the cost, I think they're getting a little bit silly expensive now. But this one especially, I think I'm going to do a separate review on this. I really like it, down to the big roof bars, duster, like again, not cheap chatty chrome. It's actually proper painted silver, and it really does look right for this car, along with the side skirts as well. Like a gunmetal grey alloy wheel, like that. And I'm not going to go too much into it, because I'm going to actually do a separate review on this. But I said, this is one of my subscribers, Darren. I'm not going to say where he works or what he does, for personal reasons, obviously. But he's watched my channel from the beginning. He asks me my advice of what cars to buy. And fair crack to the lad. I was telling him X, Y, and Z to go and buy. And one of these didn't actually pop into my mind, because I didn't know that's what he was after. And he's went and bought, and he's like, "Oh, Dan, what do you think of the car I've bought?" Expecting me to go, "Oh, you've bought a pile of rubbish, load of shite." And I think he was quite surprised when I says, "No, I like them, they're a good car." Especially this type. I nearly bought one off one of my customers, but it was a proper Billy Basic, and I'm talking like steel wheels, no air conditioning. And I was like, nah, sorry, like I'm not going from a 200 quid banger which has got cruise control, air conditioning, to spending thousands of pounds on a one with like nothing. And I mean, it had nothing, but it had super low miles on it. So anyways, these K9Ks, what to look out for on them: stop-start batteries if they have them. This luckily hasn't, from Romania. The basic stuff with these, they're a bulletproof engine, but check that's had the right oil in, right oil level. I'll check that off camera. Brake fluid's fine. Antifreeze is fine. I've done a strength check on that. And the main fault with these, like these, they have a very small air filter and a very high kind of like air draw, like suction rate, because they've actually got quite a big turbo on them, believe it or not. That's how we get a decent power and torque out of such a small engine for big cars. But these are something I like to check. Let's just get the clips undone. These things, again, remembering, I'm not going to say who he's bought it from, but all these sales places say, we've done a full service when you buy a car. No, they haven't. They've done an oil change, if that. Let's just have a little look at the oil anyway. Yeah, in fairness, that oil does look clean. So it's had an oil and filter change, but that's it. So we'll have a look. These clog these up very bad on the back edge, like that, you see? And look how badly clogged that is. It's filled, solid. And the cash guys do this, as well as these, and you'll tend to find you'll get lack of power in them. So there you go, there's a good find. Would it have really took much for the garage to have just stuck in an air filter if they've checked it, you know what I mean? It's just little things like this annoy me. So yeah, I'm going to contact Darren now and ask him if he wants us to order him in a filter and just bang it in. It's 30 seconds, but that's not good. So we'll leave that like that for now. So yeah, there we go. There's one fault found. Well, it's not a fault and it's totally easily rectified. Like I mentioned, we're going to paint these back drums, so I'm going to whip the back wheels off. While it's up, I'm going to check all the tyres, suspension, underneath. I've already been through the inside, so I'll just pause this now, and I'll come back to you. Right, so I've done what checks. I've gone round, checked the discs, all look fine. Down to the pads, fine. There's no broken springs, and as you can see, I'm using the black stuff at the minute, the black wax oil on the brake pipes. What's it there? The black stuff's a bit better because you can actually see where you've been on the pipes, where you've coated. I've just coated the end of that drop link. Somebody's had that off for some reason. I need to do the bottom half of the pipe when it's further up on the lift. Like I've said, went round all the tyres, checked the condition, checked for play. Obviously, I can't record doing that side to side, up and down. Same on the back wheels before I remove them. Check the condition of all the tyres, which are all pretty much okay. Checking up into the arch liners, just for any signs of damage or anything like that, which it's fine. One thing I have spied is that massive chunky spare tyre. I can't work that one out because there's no way that would be standard, because these I think are, believe it or not, the original tyres. So whether or not this thing's had big chunky tyres on at some point, and they've been switched over before it's been sold, I don't know, but it's not the 4-wheel drive one, so I can't work that out. I would like to see what brand that is, but that's a proper serious off-road tyre, that. Is there any signs of what it is? I don't know. Strange. Anybody out there have a does that? Does it have a chunky tyre like that? I'm going to check the springs and that, obviously, at the back when it's up on the lift better. Just again, gone round to here, check the up and down play side to side before we remove the wheel, and just checking for any serious damage on the tyres, nails, screws, anything like that, which there isn't. So they're the main things. Just that the guy's got a family and that, didn't want to be. Just take the lift up. Right, we've got it up. I haven't actually done these bits yet, but like I say, I'm going to coat them on the end of the brake hoses, on the bleed nipples. I'm going to have another check. This is all new. I haven't like pre-checked none of this beforehand. We're just going to have a look around, check nothing out of the obvious. I mean, if I see anything now, it'll be the same time you've seen it as well. Back coil springs, no broken pigtails off them, no. Not off that one. Or that one, that's good. No shockers leaking. Tiny bit damp up there, but that's absolutely nothing to worry about. That one's fine. So we're going to obviously go around all these brake lines with the wax oil for them. Now, I'll just go to give it a bit more of a once-over now, off camera, and I'll come back to you. Like I said, we'll check around the subframe. I'm looking here. Bit of oil around that oil. Somebody, obviously, just had an oil change. I might just clean that off with some brake cleaner and see what's going on with that. And get the back wheels off, and we'll start painting the back drums. So I'll be back to you very soon. Right, just a quick update. I've just been into the sump there, cleaned it off, and while I'm working, nearly dropped the phone there. I'll see if it leaks anymore. As you've seen, I've gotten out all the brake pipe ends, the bleed nipples, around the pipes as they go under the body, any other little bits that I see that I'm not happy with, pipes that I know leak, rot through and leak and cost a fortune to repair. We've been along the full main brake pipes, and as you've seen at the back before there, I've been across, round up the bleed nipples on the brake cylinders, the brake pipes all the way across the axle to the other side, and where they link up, got all these ferrules here, got them done, up, around, where they go underneath the tank. Like I've said, this is a service I offer. That little bit of, could be anything, grease, you name it, that saves you a lot of time and money to get all your brake lines changed by just putting a bit of protection on them. So now I'm going to whip the back wheels off, sandpaper the drums down and give them a light dusting. Now these, I believe, are bearing type drums. Now the better way to do it would be to remove the drum, put the drum on the floor, and outside, if it was sunny, which it isn't today, give them a spray. But unfortunately with this, luckily there's nothing around the back edge of the drum. It's just the drum housing, where the shoes go to. So there might be a little bit of overspray, but the guy just wants them to look nice when the wheel's back on, over obviously before and after kind of thing, what they look like now where they're rusty through the wheel. So crack on, we'll get these back wheels off, get them cleaned down and start doing a bit of painting, and hopefully I'm going to knock the video off now and see if he's replied to us to whether or not he wants a filter ordered, which he would be silly not to for them. I don't think they're that much. So I'm going to have to knock the video off now and start another one to see if I've got a reply. Right, so that's the wheels off. I've just prepped one side. Just a bit of sandpaper. I've obviously got a bit of cardboard to stop any overspray going. Like I mentioned, these have got bearings in. I'm most certainly not dismantling bearings. I would like to just take the drums off, but I can't. So we've got these done with the sandpaper. So that's ready to go now. Just in case you're wondering what I use. P80, it's like an aluminium oxide. This stuff's incredibly rough, which is exactly what you want. I mean, if you look at it on the other side, that's kind of how it looked before I started. So we'll be getting that one done in a moment. And that's that. And again, I don't like getting paint on this area here where the wheels got to sit. I mean, the spray paint dries relatively quickly. But what it is, I just do a little template. I'm certainly no painter, so I don't do this very often. So my way of doing things may be different. So all you do is I've got these little cardboard things, what you get the discs and pads in, push it over for a template. And now, if you can see, we've got that template to cut out. So I'll just get the scissors, see how much of a balls up I make of this, but as long as it does the job, that's all that matters, doesn't it? Right, so there we go. It's just a little template. It didn't have to be nothing special. Just, I don't want it going around this area where the wheel kind of contacts. So we'll just push it on. Happy days. Now it just means we can spray around. To be honest, when the wheel's on, you don't see that edge. It's just so we'll get it onto the areas where it needs to be. I might just trim them a little bit more on the edges. But there we go, we'll get that painted. I'm finding it really difficult here because that music over there is on so loud. Even with the doors shut, you can hear it word by word. So I'm just trying to sort things out. I'm actually a little bit worried about the guy coming in with the L200 who I said I'm going to film. And I need to review this as well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. It really pisses me off because it's totally out of my control. I wouldn't dare go over and tell them to turn their music down because they're doing absolutely no harm to anybody. It's not raging loud. It's just this stupid carry on YouTube. The millionaires already make enough money, but they need money off people like me to pay them to have music on my channel. I don't think so, especially when it's not my music that's on. We don't really have the radio on in here anyways because I've got to always have it off for to do this. So yeah, that's impeding us a little bit. I mean, my dad's on holiday, but having to have the doors shut, it's not good on the business. But I've got jobs in, I'm making money. Just kind of annoying. It's all right at the minute because it's just somebody talking on the radio, but every time a song comes on, I'm having to keep stopping it. So yeah, I would record this part by part, but you don't need to watch us spray some black paint on a drum. So I'll get the black paint sprayed on it, and we'll do a bit of a before and after with the other side. So I'll just pause it out now, and I'll come back to you. Oh, sorry, no I won't. I want to show you what I'm going to do as well. Well, the lock and wheel nuts on these, he's got the caps to go over these because they look awful when they're all rusting. And the lock and wheel nuts, no one's going to nick a set of wheels on a flipping Dacia Duster. So what the guy's actually got is a set of the little black caps like these to go on. I'm just going to go and pop them on. And obviously you would have the one left over with the lock and wheel nut. So in the car anyway, from new, there is actually a set of brand new genuine Renault / Dacia normal wheel nuts. I'm just going to put these back on, and then where the caps will look nice, because the only thing that these lockers ever do is when you break down, you can't find the lock and wheel nut, the strip, they get seized, they're nothing but a pain in the arse. The only cars I would recommend you use them on, I've even took them off this, if you look. So what I'm doing of somebody else's car is what I do to my own. I removed, first thing I did with this, the only thing where you would find they would get nicked if I had just put a brand new set of £700-800 chunky off-road tyres on this, or like an L200. Yeah, fair enough, somebody might nick wheels for your tyres nowadays. Nobody really nicks alloy wheels as such. So yeah, I'll leave this here, I'll pause it out, and I'll come back to you when we've got it painted. Right, well, sorry, busy eating a biscuit there. Right, I'm having to cut in between the songs because they're up on scaffolding and they've got this huge speaker thing up there. So every time at the minute I think adverts are on or something, I'm having to just cut in and out when that's not on. Nothing I can do about it, totally out my control. So, apart from the biscuits I'm busy choking on, these little caps, I do think they look better, but I've put them on for them. I've took the lock and wheel nuts off, and it's got these on. Looks a lot better than this, but the way they're going on, I have a feeling when they've been on a while, I've put some grease onto the end of the on these so they don't stick on, but I still feel there might be a bit of a pain to get off. But that's the lock and wheel nut I've removed for a brand new one, and they'll go onto there. So I think you'll agree that looks a lot better. Round to the painting, just been cracking on with that. I think they look great. They've come up absolutely fantastic. Done the other side as well. It doesn't have to be a work of art, but the best way I do with these is keep them spinning while you're painting. Yeah, and you don't get any runs, and it spreads evenly. So you have the can obviously in the hand, I've got my phone in, spin it, and just keep spraying it as you're spinning it. And it goes on like factory fresh. Like I said, you don't see that bit there because the wheel's on. So there we go. Quite happy with them. I'll come back to you when everything's off, and I've got the wheels on. And I think it'll look like a lot better car with them, because they were letting it down a bit, having that bit rust in the background. Could go the full hog and paint the calipers, but I'm not a big fan of painting calipers. You've got to strip them down properly, because if you get paint stuck between the pads, you end up with problems. So I'll come back to you when we've got the back wheels on. Right, welcome back to another break in the music. It must be Smooth Radio or something like that, where it's just song after song after song. There's barely a break. I'm worried now, genuinely, about I might text this guy with the L200, because I think he wanted us to do a bit of filming for him. I'm not going to be able to. I was going to review this, and I don't think, apart from making myself look like a prat and going over to them and telling them to turn it off or turn it down, which they'll probably just say that, because, nothing's ever easy for me. Do you know what it is? I'll try to just do my best, just mind my own business, do my channel, and as always, either something happening, something going on. You won't know unless you do it. Like, it's impossible sometimes just to get on and do basic things, like in my own garage, recording, doors shut, and I still have that, the rights to that taken away from us. Doors shut, everything, and it's on that loud, up on scaffolding. I can't do nothing about it. This guy's travelling quite a distance today to come and see us with the L200. I promised this guy I would do a review on the Duster, which I'm keen to do because I quite like the car. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, flick it round. There the wheel caps on, and they're nicely painted. Annoyed a few little bits have dropped off the wheel like aluminium oxide. I'm just going to leave it as it stands, but that looks a lot better. I'm sure you'll appreciate that, how good that looks compared to what it did when it was all rusty. He's lost 2 out of his pack somewhere. So you'll have to find them because the pack was open before I touched it. But there, just does bring the car up to a nice kind of standard, really, because I hate I personally myself, I did it on my L200. I always paint the drums. I did it on my little Corolla. They just look awful when they're all rusted up. So we'll leave that one there. The only thing I'm waiting for is the air filter, which you have seen, it's all minging. I would show you putting air filter in, but you've seen how minging that is to what a new one should be. I might just flick back in just for a quick 1-2 minute video to show the difference between new and old. So I'll come back to you for that one. Right, so there we go, new filter. As you can see, full service this car's supposed to have had. Definitely not. I've already shown you that, but there's a new one. Man, do a different type. It's like this is what you call like a pre-filter media that goes on them, and they also leave this little gap here, which actually stops it from getting blocked. So there we go. Pop that in. That's the end of this. I'm going to do a review on it when we get time, and luckily the music has stopped over there, so fingers crossed I'll get the L200, the guys with that here now with that. So we'll get this put back together and I'll come back to you. Right then, anybody will recognise this. I know there's a few people been asking for some L200 content. Just in case anybody hasn't seen on the channel, this is absolutely 100% identical to the one I had. Obviously it's a private plate that's on it. Mine was a 19 plate. These are the BF Goodrich mud tyres. Mine were like a more all-terrain, so these are nice and big and chunky. These are kind of what I wish I had have gone for, because they do really set the car off in my opinion. They're good them. But this year, 100% identical to mine, what mine was. Like I mentioned, the Warrior spec, which I personally prefer. Everything on it is exactly the same as mine. Brings back the memories. Makes us wonder why did I sell it? So yeah, I mean this one, what's this, 41,000, so it's not even run in really. Obviously the guy's got the seat covers, but it's the proper like Warrior spec leather seats with the breathable leather, which I do find better. Or the back seats are covered. Yeah, so this is what I had, just in case anybody hasn't seen. And I suggest if you are watching my channel regular, go back to my first videos and have a look at my L200 content. This is the tow bar that I was planning on getting for mine if I didn't sell it. The wraparound one. I think it's an Hitachi one that they did. But like I said, what we're going to do with this today, we're going to stick it up on the lift and give it a once-over because it's coming out of warranty. So we want to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. So if there's anything that's not right, get it banged into Mitsubishi before it's out of its 5-year warranty and get them done. So we'll get it up on the lift and I'll come back to you very soon. Right, we've got it in. I'm just doing the basic checks of lighting because in case anybody's not aware, if these LEDs go out in the lamps, you can't replace them. You've got to get a whole new lamp. So I'm just checking that all the lights are working right because that's what you want to be getting through Mitsubishi. These headlight washers, I do know that can be of an issue. They're working fine because the caps come off and you've got to replace the whole lot. Obviously all that, I'll go through all the different functions that they're working. Fog lights, they're like no big deal. But the main thing is just go around your LEDs and check they're all working. On dip beam, this is your side lights, and then when they're brighter on your full beam. So that's all working. Round the back, obviously there's just basic bulbs at the back there, just general maintenance stuff, fog lights. So as we can see under there, number plate lights. And I've checked the stop lights, we'll do that in a minute, take 2 people. So yeah, what we're going to do is now I'm just going to get up on the ramp, have a quick check round the bonnet, see if I can spot anything that catches my eye. As you can see, that's a tuning box like I used to have on mine, and the EGR delete. Really did help improve things on mine. This is your 2.4. I must admit, these are the 4N15s. If you possibly can with an L200, stick to the Series 5, which is this shape, and the 2.4, because the 2.2s and the Series 6 have loads of problems with the DPF. With the DPFs, they've got AdBlue on them. These don't have AdBlue. They've got all the stop, start, and all that nonsense. Definitely, my advice, if you're after an L200 or you're going to buy one, whatever, if you're thinking about one, get a Series 5, which is this shape, like this. Don't go for the Series 6, avoid them. Right, there we go. I've just been having a bit of chat while we're on the subject of the Series 5. Everybody will know about the third service just being a total rip-off. They want insane amounts of money, like over 500 quid, because the state that they want to do your valve clearances. Now, mine only had 6,000 mile on. This at the time had 30,000 mile on. I'm sorry, but to do that, to remove the rocker cover on a diesel, you've got to remove all the high pressure pipes, all the injectors, all new injector seals, everything, all the kind of stuff that you really don't want to be touching on a car until it actually becomes a problem. Now, like I've said, a lot of places state that they do it and they don't, and unfortunately people are getting charged for jobs, and we were just trying to fathom out, you know, like how to tell if they've even been done. I was looking at some of these markings and you can tell, really, you can't say 100%, you can't prove it, but if you ever do take your L200 in to have this third service, I would advise making a few little marks. I've got something here. Just buy these, what you call like a tyre pen. I use this all the time for just marking things that was just basically a white pen. It's the same as what the marks already are on it. This type of stuff here. And just do a few little marks around on these nut heads, all the different bolts. Just didn't make it too obvious, but just do a few little dots just to see, because naturally this is your rocker cover. If any of this hasn't been moved around or touched, and generally if you've got a bit of basic mechanical knowledge and skill, you can kind of tell, but you need to be quick off the ball. It's no good going back in 6 months later and making accusations. It's got to be the same day or the day after. So just be careful on that one. If you are buying one of these L200, the Series 5, third service, be careful. Personally, I would say don't take it into Mitsubishi. Personally, this might sound like the total wrong advice, would be, which I would 100% do myself, buy the gasket, buy the injector seals, buy everything that it states it needs done, and then don't do it. But naturally, the dealers are charging people for it and not doing it. What I would say is take it to an independent garage and actually state to them, they'll say the same, don't have it done, but buy the parts to prove that you have. And then therefore, you're not paying 2 or 3 hours labour for something that's not been done, if you get that. So be very careful with that on these. We've been looking around a few things. This used to actually bug me on my L200, how tight this temperature sensor was. Funny enough, it is on this one as well, but luckily nothing's been damaged. And we've had a general look around, pipes, any leaks, weeps, nothing at all what I can see of any issue. This guy's fitted the ICE design shocks on the bonnet, which I must say is fantastic on these, because the bonnets just go up, but you still keep your secondary catch if you need it. Definitely recommend those upgrades. And that's the fuel filter we're talking about. Nice and easy to do, easy to get to. So there we go. What we're going to do is we'll take it up. Like I was mentioning with this, I was at the ML the other day. This lift is fantastic. This Jeep, it'll just take it up like nothing. So we'll take it up and we'll have a look underneath. Right, so I've got it on the lift. I mean, I cannot record everything because I need 2 hands to do it, but we're doing the basic checks like we do on everyone's cars. Coil springs for any cracking, splits, corrosion anywhere. I'm going to do these brake pipes for them. But like he was mentioning, that's just terrible corrosion protection from factory on these L200s. Like when you compare that to an 04 plate Jeep, it's on another level. I mean, like literally, I don't know if you can see under there. I have painted that, but you've seen that before I had any paint on it. It's one of those things. You've got to do it straight away when they're new. But we're going to arrange to get some coating on here. We're going to go around, check all the wheels for any play. Obviously, I can only record so much of it. So when we do get kind of into that part, I'll show you what we've done, a bit of a before and after. But we're basically just doing the basic checks to find out if there's anything that we find is wrong, which is covered by the warranty. Naturally, it's not a new truck. We don't expect it to be perfect, but we're trying to find stuff that warranty would cover, because there's a lot of stuff like brakes and the exhaust that they don't cover. So we'll just go around now. I'll have a quick look around and I'll come back to you. Right, we've checked off underneath most stuff. Normally the common thing is with these broken springs, they're perfectly fine. They say it's been off-road. I'm surprised it's held up well. I've gone around all these pipes. Like I've said, the exposed pieces on the ends are always, I don't know why they don't coat them. So they've all been coated to keep that protected. We've been having a look around. I've gone around all the other brake pipes. I've done a few test areas up here where we're going to see what the difference is. I've coated it there, and obviously you can see where I've stopped there. Put a bit of wax oil on there, see how that copes with being off-road, see if it comes off any. Just looking on these props, they've not been greased up for a little while, but the front ones have. And he said when he had it in for the gearbox work, we'll just check to see if we've seen any signs of it being worked on. You can you see that RTV just on that joint there, and right up there? So I definitely will say they have had that off and done work on there, because that's the original seal of the red stuff. So I'm happy enough with that, and you can see where they've greased up the front prop, but not the back. Well, it has been a while ago. So I've gone round, checked for anything broken and whatnot, done a bit of wax oil on the pipes, checked all the drop links, checked on the springs for any play, and there's nothing what I would say is of any cause of concern, well, warranty wise at least. So yeah, so I've done that, and now I'm going to give it a little bit of a drive, just see what kind of. There was a little slight whine on the gearbox, but I remember faintly that mine used to do quite a similar thing. But as you can see under these was why it's important. Get a bit of wax oil on them as early as you can when they're new, because there's nothing at all has got any protection whatsoever. This is the tub at the back, but even the body at the front, as you can see, that's all just bare metal up there. I'm saying bare metal, it's got a very fine coat of some kind of primer or something like that. But yeah, all good with this. I just thought I would show a few of you. Obviously I can't do much of a video because I've got the guy here. So, you know, this is what it's in for, a check. If anybody else wants this done, let us know. Just a once over before your car's out of warranty. Definitely worth it. So I'll clock out now, and once I've been for a drive, I'll kind of do a end of the video. So thanks for watching. Right, little development. I had my under trays off my L200, and they've been sat there, so the guys took them because there's a little bit of damage to his. But he's left us. He's happy enough to show this paperwork. I have folded it over where his name and address is. But this is just some of the kind of rip-off stuff that I want to prove that these dealers are doing. Now, on here, I'm going back to when I had mine. I bought my car from them practically brand new. I got it home, and I noticed the power was lacking. And what I tend to find was, when I opened up the bonnet, there was bits of straw and moss, and I opened up the air filter. And what I had done is basically never checked it, and I'm just pleased to see on here, on a proper PDI, mine had a pre-delivery inspection done, and on there, check air cleaner element for clogging and damage, tick. Now, they said to me there was no part of any servicing or PDI checking that involved checking the air filter, right there. So there's off schedule to that car, but this was the same garage I dealt with mine, and I wasn't too happy. So just look at the money you're paying here, and you've all seen, if you watch my channel regular, I use dealer parts only, the same Mitsubishi stuff. In fact, I've got them in here, what I bought for mine in turn to actually do it, but I never kept the car till it was third service was due. I have all the parts here, Mitsubishi parts, injector seals and all that, which I had bought ready for the job, but I never actually kept the car long enough, the truck long enough. So I just wanted to show you, all that this entails is an oil and filter change, and a fuel filter change, and basically checking the diff fluids and the gearbox fluids, and 2 wiper blades. £483. I mean, for £483, I could do an oil and filter, air filter, fuel filter using Mitsubishi parts, the pollen filter that they don't bother to do, go around all the pipes that you've seen us do. I could probably chuck a set of discs and pads in, fitted, for that kind of money. So I can't work out where they're getting this money from. I'm sure they're like, as far as I can see, they're charging £200 labour to basically do an oil and filter, fuel filter, and take a couple of bungs out of the front and rear diff, and that's it. And fitting 2 wiper blades. There's nothing else involved on that, as you can see on there. So then there's the biggie. This is what everyone gets scared of with these, which is one of the reasons I sold mine, was the 3rd year service. Now this is £587. Now all they've done here is an oil and filter and an air filter. As you can see, the oil filter and the air filter, no fuel filter, and obviously all of this stuff for the gaskets, for the rocker gaskets and the injectors, so all the injectors have had to come out. Now, like I've already mentioned, through the grapevine I've heard, and I know it happens a lot, is unless the car's rattling to death when they come in, they never actually do it. It just a quick clean down, book out the parts, and people are getting charged this money. So I would advise, if you are taking your L200 in for this 3rd service, make sure you do a few little hidden marks to see if they're actually doing the work, because that's where it really oversteps the mark of when you're getting charged £301 labour and nothing's actually getting done by an oil and filter and an air filter. So that's a lot of money there, when you look at that, to be spending. So you've got to remember, just on 2 services, yeah, that is over £1,000, isn't it? 508. That's nearly 600, and that's nearly 500. So 1,100 quid you're touching on just for 2 services, which is basically a couple of oil and filter changes, an air filter and a fuel filter. So there we go. There's the moral of the story. Just be very, very careful with these dealers. In fact, I don't even know if Mitsubishi offer a service plan. I absolutely detest the service plans, but maybe for this kind of money, it might be worth taking on, but just make damn sure that they do actually do what they say that they're meant to be carrying out. So I'll leave that here, and I'll come back to you shortly to finish off the video. Right, and that's the end of today's vlog. Been a bit of a different one. It's been nice to have one of my viewers in the day. I've sorted the day shot out, obviously. The Picasso, I've still got to sort that. But my apologies with the carry on with the sound today. I mean, they've been going on just so I can show you. They've been getting that painted over there. Obviously, you can see the building, the grey. So obviously they've had like the wheelie stuff, what they build up and put down. And they've had, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I love a bit of music on when I'm working and that, but it's been up a height, elevated. It's just been an absolute nightmare. I mean, luckily they stopped in the afternoon perfectly, so I've got the L200, but I still missed out doing the review on the Dacia, which I'm going to get that booked in as a separate job to do. So I'm just checking on the dogs. They're barking. 2 moments. I'll show you, actually. They're having... What's going on in here? See? They're having a bit of fight over the food. Go on, get your dinner, Harvey. You get your dinner. Go on. There you see. What gets me with dogs is I've had the puppy in the car. I've had the puppy in there. He's been in the office for over half an hour, 45 minutes with that bowl of food to himself. He doesn't want it. So I thought, right, 45 minutes is enough. I've asked him to have it a few times. Didn't want it. Put the puppy in. Now they're fighting over it. Now he wants it. He's had 45 minutes to eat it. So... dogs, who can work them out? But yeah, apologies for all the stopping and starting all day. I've got no idea when I edit these all together how much of a botch up this video is going to be, but I hope you guys liked it. I've got some L200 content on there, bit of something different with the Dacia, and every day there's going to be little bits and bobs in this week. Hopefully when I get 5 minutes tomorrow, I'm just going to shut the doors and try and get on and get the Jeep up and running. Check the fluids, because it's a pain in the arse to get the automatic gearbox fluids correct. So yeah, and get the Picasso MOT'd. As I've mentioned, don't expect that I can't ever doing the MOTs, because that's illegal. So naturally with that, it's just going to have to be driving to the place, MOTing it, bringing it back, getting that out the way. So that's how it's been. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I've got no idea how it's going to come out. My apologies if it doesn't come out well, but I would like to thank both the people. I'm terrible with names. Alistair and Darren, who've had the cars in today. Like I've said, I've made the most of today because I've kept this day especially clear for my subscribers, so I can get them in, not around so much of their work. But the rest of the week, I've got other work booked in, which we'll go through some interesting stuff tomorrow. I'll show you what comes in. I'll not give away any stuff that's in. It's not interesting, but a bit of a different car to work on, I suppose. Nothing interesting though. Yeah, but thank you for watching. I'm going to get all this edited. Apologies, it'll probably be on late now on a Tuesday because it's 5 o'clock now. I haven't even edited it yet, and then it's all the mucking about with YouTube lately to actually get the thing uploaded. So apologies, this could be probably pushed at 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. So thanks for watching. Please, if you haven't already done so, hit the like. Please leave a comment. It's what it's all about. And if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe. See you tomorrow. Bye.